want to welcome everybody, Megan, Mark, everybody to our work session. We'll have a word of prayer and then we'll get started. Let us pray. Father, we gather as a group of believers together and but in a meeting, and we ask for your wisdom to help us to put things together that will help our county. We ask you, Father, just to order our footsteps, and we ask for your blessings for this county. In Jesus' name, amen. Megan Hunt is here to speak to you about the road closure. Megan, if you want to come up and just speak to the commission. I think you know all the commissioners. I know you know your commissioners.
Yes,
Ms. Cobb.
So I have talked to Juan a few times about the road and the bridge being out and different things.
This is concerning County Road.
County Road 402.
Okay.
That's my name. We would like to petition to close the portion of the road that actually is our property, to be honest. Where the dirt road starts and where our property ends is the portion we'd like to close, and the bridge is on that portion. Otherwise, we'd like to really figure out something that we can do to fix it and maintain it. The road before the bridge to County Road 65 has not been maintained at all, and I don't know how long. And the other portion was maintained maybe a month or so ago. Some gravel and some scraping, but it does need some more attention and some cutting and things. Okay. But if this portion is closed, with it being our property that is road frontage that whole way, we would be able to maintain that ourselves and take that responsibility.
So you're familiar with it?
It is.
And you're familiar with it?
What they have a lot of traffic that goes in there that's unnecessary traffic. But like I explained to me, we have to make sure that there's a road that will be honored that connects to that. So
And there's not. And so there's access from both ends. So the section that they're talking about is just there's on both sides of the roads, about a quarter-mile section through there. And it does, that is the section where the bridge is out, and that is, that's Caney Creek. So it's not a throw a pipe in it kind of creek and it floods, it's flooding. It's something that it would be if you were gonna pipe it, it'd probably be a couple of 10-foot diameter pipes to actually pipe it. Or some type of bridge. The one that was in it, I think it was right at 30 foot across it. And we had an abutment failure, and it shifted. And not one that we were able to save or try to rid of that, so we had to be a new structure to go in.
So do y'all want to, you got a question?
So this property that joins, so you're inside the red line here?
Yes, sir.
So who's this here?
I think it's Timber Company.
Oh, it's Timber
I'm
Company?
not sure.
One house.
Yeah, everything else is Timber Company.
But so you would still travel on that road yourself, I mean, to your property?
Yes.
On this here same road that comes down by West? Okay.
Yes, unless we were able to personally do something across Cane Creek
Okay.
once it's closed. Or
Yeah.
if it's closed.
Well, if it's closed, if you do something across that, you're taking a big liability.
Well, it would be on our property.
In other words, you'll have a gate up.
That's what.
Correct, yes, we would gate it.
See what I'm saying? Somebody just went barreling down there.
Yes, no, if we were able to close it, then on each of those lines there, we would like to gate that off. And we're planning to fence the entire property for cattle and things in the future, so.
Yeah.
And it is one that I don't see, as far as that bridge goes, especially anytime in the near future, it's something that we
The
could.
policy of them, because they have another way, there's another route in, and we have major work on 65, like I told Megan Bridge-wise, that is gonna eat up a lot of the county's money, and this is not a bridge that I wanna lay that in the future, I say that we're going to put back in because of the cost.
All right, so is this something you want to put on the agenda to start the process?
Yes, I do, I just wanted Megan to come and request it.
Okay. So you want to start this on the process, you want to do new business or consent agenda?
Consent agenda, because we'll have to.
Is everybody good with that, or consent agenda?
Yes.
And it's County Road 408 and
402.
402, I'm sorry. And then, you got basically the description and you don't know where to go from there. But we'll vote on, to go forward with the process, then he has to advertise and then we'll have to have a hearing, basically. It'll be here in a commission meeting. So it'll take about it'll probably be November before we can probably pass it. But that's the process. Yeah.
And Megan did explain, like I said, they were having problems with people running in and out there that has.
We do, we have a lot
No
of,
reason for them to do
yeah, a
that.
lot of traffic that comes down to the bridge, which is, county property anyway, but seeing as we own that whole stretch there, there's really no reason for them to be down there other than the creek, and to be honest, the creek is not really flowing right now, and nice to be in anyway. So, and there's, like I said, there were 2 or 3 4-wheelers down there just this weekend, just him hauling around, and if they don't stay on the dirt road, then they're on our property. We did have a truck that got off on our property, crossed the creek, and into one of our food plots that we had out for deer, and, he was young and ripping and romping in a 4-wheel drive, so, that, messes up our hunting and everything else, so, it's just something that we really like to be done.
Okay.
All right, so it's on the agenda.
Alright.
Okay, when you tell your husband you did a good job. Tell Steve.
Stephen didn't want to come, did he?
Well, he was going to, we thought it was 5, and he was going to get there, and then we got there at 3.
Because I did tell you.
Yeah, and then I was like, you can't come, it's at 3, and he was like, okay, well, just be nice. And I was like, am I good to go?
No, you gotta stay for the whole meeting. No, you
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, thank you.
So they'll organize the meeting.
She's doing that.
Yes.
Joyce, you got anything you want to address the commission on?
Nothing very major or anything. We started collecting today, so on the 15th, 16th, sometime y'all should start having money rolling back into the general funds and roads and bridges and all that good jazz. Any questions for me? Thank you.
John? Okay. Anything? All right. Start with you then.
Okay. I only have a few things, everything's died down a little bit since then.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, Ross, forgive me, let me ask Ross, did you have anything that you need to bring forward?
No, sir.
Being chief, I'm just
Just
want you
thank
to
you.
Okay, please forgive me.
Okay, I just thought of a couple of things. We do need to have a resolution for to change the job description on the custodian position, because that, department head has changed, so that changes that.
Everybody good with that consent
Yeah.
agenda?
And also be able to have Crystal Crystal mainly to be able to
Yes, we're not.
requisitions.
Why is that so hard to remember?
I can't remember. I remember it then.
You did.
Yeah, I didn't have to ask you what we're talking about.
Okay, I will have more information, I hope to have it today, we just haven't worked out, but, bank information on the rates that are being offered. I did talk to a couple of the banks a few weeks ago, but that information changes pretty quickly, it can, so I hope that I will have time in the next day or two to run out and actually talk to a couple of folks at the bank about the interest rates. So, possibly, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna ask you a question when you get through talking.
Okay. So I will catch up with them and find out. The last I had heard, one had much better interest rates on the actual money market accounts, but one had better interest rate on CDs. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to have that, everything in one place. We don't have to do that. That is optional. But I will tell you this, it is a lot to change banks if we actually need to make that decision. Because all of our payroll, AP, everything is all hinged to those accounts, and all of the money market accounts, all that needs to be, that doesn't need to be at the same bank, all the checking accounts do. So, that being said, I will research that a little bit this week, and I should have information for you at the meeting. Go ahead.
We need to talk to Jason about that, because there is a state law, but I think it's not necessarily tied to who's got the best interest rates and all that stuff. I think it's pretty much left up to you to make a recommendation, but you need to talk to Jason.
I will make sure on that, because that is, I mean, it is a lot. And sometimes, you know, the banking industry is not just about the interest rates, it's also about the service that you receive from the bank. That's a big part of it, so.
It has to be, it has to be on that list, state list or something.
Two of the banks, they're going to be, you need to take a call a while, whatever it is.
Right. Okay, the other thing is, we talked a little bit about the court fees that we received, and those court fees, they're $30 fees, they go into two different accounts. In the past, we have been transferring one of those revenue codes, basically half the $30 fees, over to the gas tax. We stopped doing that because of the amount of equipment that's been purchased. Now, in order for that money to be paid back to the reserve account where that money was taken out of for those purchases of that equipment, is what I think we should do, and I think the clearest path to make this where it will make sense even more than road even years from now, if it needs to be, is to transfer, instead of doing that transfer over to the gas tax account, transfer that money over to the public highway and traffic account, because that's where that money will be repaid into the reserve account. So once that money starts to build back up in that public highway and traffic account, whether there be equipment sales or just a normal little bit of tax that goes in there, that will eventually help pay back that reserve account. That is up to you, but that is the way that, you know, if we're keeping that money to help pay for his equipment that he's purchased, that would be the best way to be able to see that clearly.
That sounds good to me.
Does that sound right? Okay. Do you need a resolution for that?
And it's strictly, that money is strictly going, strictly to pay back, it's not going to be anything else.
It absolutely would be, because right now, he owes so much back to reserve that it's gonna take some time, and until he has another big sale of motor graders or whatever he does next, it's gonna be a while before he'll have to pay back reserve for what he's purchased.
Do you need a resolution and you make
I
that
think I
happen?
do, because the last resolution that we had on that was to retain that money into the general fund until such time that it felt like it had been.
So you'll make a consent agenda good on
I
that?
think we need to rescind the first resolution,
Okay,
and then we need to come up with a new resolution.
okay, sounds good to me.
Basically,
Yes.
If you rescind the other one, then that's where it's going forward.
It's going to gas tax. It was going to the 111 gasoline fund,
Okay.
which is his operating stuff.
You want it under new business?
Because we're not doing any, we're not using that money for, make sure that we're not using that money for anything else, but strictly for equipment, is what we've been using it for.
This is that public highway.
Yes, that's all it is spent on.
yeah.
It is just for equipment. And if you want that on new business, I would like to do that. You want to rescind the resolution?
Rescind that resolution and send it to the, back to the, where we get the money back into the general fund, when it's all set. Because it'd be paid back out of that fund, right?
it would pay back out, it's actually coming out of the general fund because it's going into the general fund right now, into that, one of those revenue codes. It would be transferred, which was being transferred before in the gas tax, but now we'll transfer it into the public highway and traffic account. The only thing that gets paid out of that account is equipment, or
Okay.
back to the reserve for equipment.
Okay.
So consent it or?
Yes, if you get that resolution, then we'll read it. When you send it, if nobody signs it, it goes to new business anyway.
Are you good
I'll
with
make
that?
it clear.
That's fine, because we're,
Okay.
I mean.
And you could almost probably, within the resolution, make one resolution,
Yeah, that's what I was
sending one,
Yeah. Just ask.
Just one resolution to cover it all.
but with the document, I mean, with the
Details.
details of presenting,
Okay, one other question, and I don't know if this is anything that you guys would consider or not, but it was a thought with all these, deals with the city of Heflin in their, in the inmate housing and dispatch and everything's kind of seems like it's worked itself out now. Do we need to rescind those old resolutions that say that we only pay, what is it, like $3 a day for something, and do we need to rescind those old resolutions? That way they're no
It
longer,
should be rescinded.
I thought that the new resolution precedes the old resolution.
but there's been resolutions between that apparently
Rescind those.
did not. Over the years, there's been other resolutions that,
I talked to Jason about it. Jason said every time you sign a new contract, the old contract's null and void, so.
okay, so, I guess that's okay then. Okay, I just want to make sure that was not something, some housekeeping that we need to do.
Run by Jason, make sure he and I talk about that.
Okay.
if,
I mean, that's what he said in here,
That's-
several times.
that's what I'm saying too, but I'll say this, if you want, once you talk to him, it's okay, put it on consent agenda, but if he thinks it should.
Yeah.
Again,
No, I-
it says that it's only good if all of us signs it anyway, so you send or new business, don't matter.
Well, I agree, I'm just saying, we need to add it if everybody's okay with adding it, if he thinks it's a good idea to add it. Okay.
And that is everything about
Okay. Any questions for her?
Yes, going back, to your custodian and then, with, the maintenance man that does our maintenance work. Work orders, pretty much everybody's in the room here that would be asking for a work order. Does everybody understand that all work orders goes to Lisa? Okay, because I have an understanding that he's being bombarded with work orders from everybody.
He should not be. They should come to me. There is a good reason for all department heads to send those directly. And I actually put myself and Krista on there, that way if one of us is,
Right.
out or whatever, we've got it covered. But that does keep Chris from getting 32 phone calls if he's trying to install a drain. There's it can be a lot to have that many people calling on you to do something all the time. I think we can streamline this a little better, make better use of his time. If we set up his work orders, print those work orders, leave those for him, he signs off when they're done, and we're keeping records of that. So it shows what he's done with his time, but at the same time keeps him from getting bombarded by all different department heads. If it is an emergency and it is on the weekend, absolutely contact Fred. He does keep a few blank work orders that he can write out, and he'll get numbers from us for the records on Monday, just like he would a PO if he would have one in an emergency situation.
And that's any time, like the toilets running over or stuff like that.
We're already implemented, we've already,
Well,
Yeah.
they already know
we've already done it. So we
Okay, I just,
understand.
well, everybody else could hear.
But right, so absolutely, I mean, he is on call, of course, on the weekends and things like that, or at night, that does happen, but in the regular course of business, if you have, a light that's out, or you have just minor things that need to be repaired, we will write those up, and those will be handled in the order in which they're received.
And our new, day porter is, she wants to be called LA, but her name is Lois, and, we'll get her some business cards.
And she will have a phone as well, so
It's supposed to be here Wednesday.
if it will be here Wednesday. So,
Any other questions?
Did, you ever get clarification on the drug settlement money?
the drug settlement money, the drug settlement money, from all I've heard, is what I understand, is this can be used pretty much for preventative, drug use only. You're talking about the opioid money, correct?
For, to use it for the drugs, I mean, the jail medical field.
From what I understand, that it would be that it, like I talked to Lane about this before, it needs to be something that's actually notated by the healthcare provider, if they can provide, information that, these services were provided in direct relation to a drug-related problem, then we've got a leg to stand on that, and I believe that would work fine. I actually had reached out to Meg about it at one time. Let me catch back up with her, touch base with her on that again too, because I felt like with the ACCA being with as many counties, that they've probably been approached by this more than once. So they might be the go-to on that just because of their involvement in other counties. And I'll make a note to catch back up with Meg on that too.
And we need to do something with that money. I mean, the longer we let it sit around, we get forgotten about, then we get rid of the auditors.
I know that there are some definite uses, like if you have programs in place to help with recoveries or preventions and things like that. That's what it's really kind of designed for. But we really need to not start a program. We need to use it to offset some of the expenses that we have. Now, are the medical expenses at the jail drug related? Probably most of them are. I mean, when you say a lot of them are, the medical expenses are,
Yeah.
it's gonna be some of it, but it's a matter of whether that can be documented. And it's hard to say whether a healthcare facility was willing to do that, because they're all running on rules of HIPAA and coding and all those kinds of things. So that's just something we're gonna follow up on to see if we can
So
possibly
we
use
should
that.
check with Jason and Meg.
I've already talked to Jason about it, and he did follow, I forwarded all the information that he gave me to you, all because each of the settlements has different wording as far as what you can use the money for. It all basically boils down to prevention or, trying to prevent,
Treatments.
treatments.
So we would need to work with Lane and Lane to work out.
Right, and he did say that we've already talked about it, and he's actually said that he would kind of get in touch with them and see if there's something that we could document that. And he said, I'll reach back out to Meg, that was my next go-to on this, because they may have already run into this before, and see how other counties are able to spend their money.
But you and Lane needs to have a working relationship on that to be able to get it worked out.
Also check and see if that money can be used to clean up, like when the sheriff has cleaned up drugs and stuff like that, or destroy drugs, or whatever, anything we can offset a cost instead of, I don't want to create a program just to spend money, but I'd rather spend it on something we already have to pay for.
That's right.
On the, talking about following up on the sheriff and rescinding resolutions and stuff, is the sheriff, have y'all got it worked out, sheriff, so y'all can take the city of Athens inmates yet?
We ain't got a contract with them.
I have not seen anything from the city of Athlone since that, and, I know it's been verbalized and vocalized, but it has not been on paper as far as I know,
Well, we had
as an agreement.
We agreed on the amount, I
We
think,
did.
but there's that contract that has to be worked out that I
Okay.
think,
Well, let's talk, so have you got a copy of the whole contract?
I'm here with them, I
We
do.
do the contract, sheriff, we do the contract.
We do the contract. We do the contract, and actually we do it, but of course Jason puts his stamp of approval on it with it. So, it would be a matter of catching up with Jason and changing the terms on it, and the amounts on it, and then getting him to.
Okay.
Not just the amount changed, it's something other than.
there may be one sentence or something in it.
It seemed like
That
there was one
there may be a
other part
conflict,
that-
I don't know, but between him and Patrick, they should have worked that out.
Okay,
We've worked on the cost amount. I mean, y'all already passed that, but
Right.
as far as, but
the actual agreement being signed and all, we need to get that together.
On
So
the,
when are
on,
we looking at, are we looking at
Well-
next week, or we're looking at too.
Well, I think I don't know if it may be the city of Heflin's because we've given y'all the contract and y'all may send it back with some changes.
I can check with Patrick or, Ray or something. I assume it would be a new consent from the county to us to sign, or
Well,
whoever powers
yes.
to be need to sign it in the same room, same day, whatever.
What we've done in the past, and I know it's changed a little bit, but we actually would change the contract and then let our attorney look over it. And normally we would send that on from there. Once he approved everything that was on there, we would send it over to the city, but probably we just need to have Jason send it right on over to Patrick and let him look at it. That might cut out some of the back and forth. And then once he's able to recommend that he agrees with that for the city, then I imagine that it would go to the city at that point. Does that sound reasonable?
I'm just asking, is it gonna be next week, or is it gonna be 2 months after that? It seems like this keeps dragging on.
It does, it has kind of grown on, but, as of.
The last contract was a supplement contract.
Extension.
Extension, right. So the original contract, I don't know if y'all still have that.
Now, the last one was not actually signed, that's the extension was.
Yeah,
the
the
one that
extension
went
was
into.
silent.
We
Well, what
moved
the
about-
commission had voted on was to extend the original contract, and then Jason took it upon himself to change the original contract and send them a different contract. Where only thing the commission voted on was to extend the original contract that was signed for 30 days or 60 days. But he changed, as Brian says, a sentence. A sentence means a lot in a contract, so I think that's what sort of got.
It was confusing because we just agreed to
Extended.
extend the existing contract, but it was changed.
So I didn't know that.
But that contract never went into effect.
I know it didn't, but if it had, it had been changed without
It
us
didn't go
voting
into
on it.
effect, it was still in garbage.
But what I'm saying, we never said change the contract. We said existing contract.
But it didn't get signed, so it don't matter.
That's the reason why it didn't get signed, Terry, why don't it matter? If you send me a contract, the commission voted on sending the contract to extend the original contract. County attorney took it upon himself, or county attorney and somebody else with the county attorney decided to change it. The commission's word was to send the original contract to the city of Heflin to extend. When they got the contract, it had been changed. So it wasn't the original contract, but the reason they didn't sign it, where you say it's not an issue, when somebody sends a contract out stating one thing and it's another thing, that is an issue.
And then when they ask you, and you're saying, no, we didn't change the contract, and then they're telling you, yes, you did change the contract. No, we didn't.
Well,
So
we
it
need
makes
still,
us
we need a
feel
contract. We need a contract.
So we need to go back to the one that expired like in July and take that original contract and make it a new,
I mean, well, I think we still,
change the amounts and
I mean,
stuff.
we need to still take our attorney into consideration.
Right.
If you disagree with him or you don't disagree with him, you still should at least
Still got it.
give his input.
Right.
So that contract, and if y'all want to talk to him about that 2 weeks from now, we can, but that's a long time. Are y'all already putting prisoners in? We're not doing it till we got the contract.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you want me to work with Jason to try to get that flowing, to get that work done?
If you just go back to the contract we passed a little over 3 years ago and just change the dollar amount, that's all we're trying to do. And
That's what I
why not
was
so
saying,
complicated?
yeah. That's why I was saying the one that actually just, the one that expired before we got into all this mess, and the one that
The
expired in
one
July,
that
that should
originally
be it.
signed, that we got a contract with them.
In 2020.
Yes, and then all we're changing is the amount. Because, I mean, the lawyers approved those contracts in the past.
Have you got a copy of it? Can you get one of your ladies to go give us a copy of it?
Do you have it on your computer?
Yeah, so,
Some records on it.
and then we can come back to this.
Just expired.
Because y'all approved the dollar amount.
Right.
And so you could, I wonder if she's got both. But I mean, that's what y'all wanna do. is
But
just
one
sit
thing I
down.
guess, we need to do is have, Ross and John, I think those are the two most important ones that's gotta protect the county, not us, to sit down to make sure that we're getting our deputies and our police officers back on the street as fast as possible. So we just need to, make sure that however this thing's worked up, that we understand that's what we're trying to do.
You wanna move on to Lee? Or did you, any other questions for her? Lee, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Are y'all good to move on?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lee.
So the road closure's gonna be on there. Got that covered. Second, I need a PO for, structural engineering company. This is, $25,000. This is for the plans for the rehabilitation on the airport, to do that rehab project.
And that's out of the money that we moved around.
Yes.
Okay, you got it, money.
So that's good. So that's 25,000, so I need to get a PO for that, and you can have that.
Consent agenda good with that?
Yes.
Only other thing I've got is, I've been going through my inventory surplus stuff, just do some house things, so surplus items that I'd like to clean up. Some of it, we're gonna try to sell on good deals, some of it's just scrap now. We've got 4 parts and cut and broke, and it's all, they say it's all just, but it's all. It's good shortly.
Any questions for?
Do you have any grants coming out, not until November, right?
Just that next HR2 grant will be the next one, whenever it comes out, that typically is November range.
I did have one more question, I guess it might be directed at, Lisa, and maybe the sheriff. Where we at as far as furnishing deputies for Wrangler? Are you gonna bring that tonight?
No, I'm bringing it, I get involved.
Okay.
That's up to the sheriff, that's between sheriff and city.
I emailed Jason today and he's supposed to be working on a contract with it. It's just for calls of service for right now. It's not strictly sending a deputy over there.
To sit,
Do it.
not send one over just to sit, right?
Yeah.
What about their SOR officer?
If they technically can pull him out, but they will have to tell the school to stop paying on him, because he's getting paid by the school.
So that's a 30-day contract with them too?
I don't know.
I think everybody's 30 or 60 days, ain't it? So we don't know much other than saying, are they planning on rehiring or?
Last time I talked to the mayor, he said he was gonna take it, all this appeal and stuff didn't work out. He wasn't gonna get in a hurry, he was gonna take his time.
Yeah.
There's an appeal,
Sir,
they're appealing it or something?
supposedly Glenn is appealing, there's supposed to have been a hearing, but they canceled it, so I don't know.
Now, I can't speak to the hearing, but there was a hearing.
Sir,
That was just the clerk took it on herself to call it a hearing. That was never really, that was just Facebook.
okay.
Because I did talk to the mayor about that.
So they'll be on the school next week, so.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got it taken care of. From the doctor's office, yeah.
All right,
I mean, the sheriff wants to do that, and I won't bring it up, we can vote on it, but I don't think that's what we do.
But I guess, so 911 knows if they get a killing in Rambler, for say, or a robbery, the 911 knows to call the sheriff and not the city of Rambler.
They already know that we've done answering a few calls for them anyway.
It's, I mean, I think I'm pretty sure I'm right on this. I mean, it's the city of Rambert's responsibility, it's not our responsibility. So,
But if they,
I'd rather just not talk about it. Let's let the mayor do it. Let's not do that. Because they got so much crap flying around over there.
But John,
get
you
swept.
gotta protect, I mean, you guys will be covering it if there's anything that's going on.
if they disband, that's what I'm saying, if they disband the police department, then it falls under the county's umbrella.
The mayor didn't say anything to me about that now.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's where I'm trying to go with this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, we're technically responsible for answering calls. He just said, you know, he don't mind paying to try to help, you know, try to help. It's, you know.
Okay, okay.
And he said even if we had to, if this went on for an extended time and they decided they needed to have somebody out there for shift, you know, for a full shift, then they would, you know, regroup and, you know, approve something there different figure. But right now, they just wanted to,
Okay.
like a cost per service, or a price per call.
All right. Anything else, guys? I know we're waiting on this contract.
Have you heard anything about the Hopewell School?
Have not. I keep,
Do you not get taxes all the time? I'm still getting taxes from people. That comes up to say Hopewell School, say Hopewell
Well,
School.
that's fine, say Hopewell Schools, they're not gonna save it.
But they did ask for somebody to come to the commission and talk.
That meeting that Ryan did out there was a lot of talk, but nobody was taking any responsibility for anything, it looked like to me. And I know I told the Forsyth lady, I can't remember her name, that, you know, this couldn't stretch out into next year, we need to do something before the end of this year, and there ain't no word from anybody.
It just says, just for your information, call Ron Robinson, it's just, says Ron Robinson needs for someone to call him and give him an update on the student's project. Then it says, has anything new happened in the school building?
So Ron, you can give us an update.
now wait, my update is, no one has contacted Ryan Robertson asking us as a county commission to do something or to give it to a nonprofit as of right now.
But it's not to me.
I forwarded you all the, contract that Krista's trying to get printed out. It's the one that's signed in for 2020 and it ended. So you all have it on your email as well, in case you didn't say that, this is a copy of it.
Here's what I would say. If they want to come to a meeting and let's talk about it, then we need to come to a meeting, let's talk about it. That takes a minute there.
I'll just put on there, I'll forward something to them.
That's fine. I mean, I done went to one of the meetings, I done went to one of the meetings, and I'm more concerned about what they're gonna need for supper than those school guys. So, I'm not gonna take charge of it, I'm not gonna take charge of it.
I don't want to take charge of it, but we,
I do.
but I'm just saying, nobody's, you know,
Nobody's saying anything.
yeah.
I'll send a message out and just ask them that they need to.
I really
please
should
contact
send a
us
message.
directly, that we're not giving.
If you send a message out, I mean, I don't know.
That right.
They got, no, hey, no, they got responsibilities, everybody's got to work out their own salvation.
Well, I thought if we didn't have heard that by now,
We'll
it was
send
the same.
this with your
Is that not what it's
tax,
written?
and you'll help
I wasn't here when y'all had
salvation.
the last meeting, I thought that's what was talking about.
Yeah, okay.
When you start getting the call.
This is revenge when I tell people to call Laura, call your
This
commissioner.
is gonna be so good. I'll take care of this.
All right,
I have a question.
okay.
Yes, sir. Do you see a gravel spreader in our future?
So, we go back to just old equipment, I would love to have one, and it would greatly benefit us in what we're doing. They're 300,000 plus brand new, or trying to find something used that
Ain't work.
would work. So I mean, that's the two options, is that, absolutely, I don't mind starting to hunt to see if I can find something used. We have, just looking around, found some in the $60,000-$80,000 range that are late 90s, early 2000s. But,
And that would be adjustable with what?
What kind of, what about the flow of the gravel?
That's, all that will be functional. Now, that'd be a have to, because that's my problem.
What?
I said, that would be a have to, because that's my problem.
Yeah.
Is the flow rate.
And plus we use the big gravel, it'd be a lot better to go into that stuff a lot better if it's that small gravel.
She already using that small.
They're still, the grinder is, they're still trying to pull out some new parts. They've got, I won't say they've got the expensive stuff, they're still trying to pull some of the cylinders and stuff that are obsolete. But Cat's got a whole division that's all they do is find these obsolete parts. So they're still working on trying to do all that. We are placing number 6 stone, which is not the smallest. A JG treatment, which is what we would be striving for, is a layer of 6, is a layer on top of that, slightly smaller, just to kind of feel for us. But with us not having the flow rate on the chip spreader, once we drop below that number 6 size, then that's where we're just putting out way too much stone. So no, I have not been doing that smaller rock on top, we're just going to do the double layer of number 6.
So, or you're giving them taller down to get to attach to it. I know.
Everything at the rate state station, so.
Maybe it's not putting that. Maybe it's putting the taller down.
Four actually does more damage than less. Because each start getting wood trees and all that kind of stuff, so. More is not answering that.
All right. Any other questions for Bill? So you have this contract that was not signed. You guys want to,
No, that one was signed,
That's
that
the
no,
sign.
I meant a contract that would go out and then
was, yeah.
mirror this one.
And I think they have it, so like when we leave here today, I'll call Robbie and make sure he's got it so they can read it. Maybe they'll get it moving faster.
Yeah.
So the last contract they signed was in July of 20.
Do we not need, does this not need to reflect on the same time as our budget going forward
Yeah, I think it should reflect on
from
our budget.
October?
Yes, and then it's gonna have a.
In the past, it ended in,
It ended in
before.
July.
Yeah.
It ended in July.
so I mean, this needs to be probably worked on then,
Yeah.
than the one that Robbie's got is confirmed in.
Well, worked on, at least I'm just gonna call and tell him that other than what you just talked about, we're gonna start being sort of hard to start in October 1 since it's already October 1, but I think it can go to, set it off at October 1 and at the end of October 1.
You can just have the first year 11 months and so many days, and the second year full 12.
Start at October 1.
Are y'all ready to send this since y'all voted on it?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Everybody good with that?
Contract.
I mean, all you did is change the amount, the money amount. I saw, you got a blank one right there, don't you? Is that the old
No,
contract?
that's the
Okay.
new
This is the new
one.
one.
That's the new one.
We can just, no, we can't test her tonight. We can ask Lisa just to make them changes and make sure everybody gets a copy of that.
So at least we'll have it for, next meeting.
Well, hopefully, they can send it on, if they, as soon as they get it done, send it on.
I mean, everything's been approved by us, they just need to.
May I address the-
Just be sure.
Date and amount.
Whatever.
May I address the commission?
Yes, sir.
If this is the one that was voted on, I think the wording earlier, this one contains, if that matters. And I'm just trying to say this to keep from going back and forth and sending it back and forth. If you look over on page 8 of 10, there was some wording in there. Let me make sure I got it right. The municipality further hereby agrees to defend, us being a municipality, to defend, identify, and hold harmless the commission, the sheriff, and all their officials, employees, agents, here and after collectively referred to as the commission and/or sheriff from all and against any and all actions, appeals, causes of action, suits, debts, charges, allegations, assertions, complaints, claims, liabilities, obligations, promises, agreements, controversies, damages, and expenses, including attorney's fees, and costs actually incurred in bringing any and all actions necessary to enforce this agreement of any nature whatsoever in law or equity resulting from an allegation that a municipal inmate suffered damages because of the actions of the municipality or any of its officers, agents, employees, regardless of whether it was alleged or proven that the commission and/or sheriff were also negligent, wanton, or acted with deliberate indifference toward municipal inmate. By way of example, the regardless, I think, is the key word they had exception to. If you look back, it's the same wording, same verbiage included in one of the others. Trying to find the correct. It says except in one of the previous paragraphs. That was on 6 of 10. On 7 of 10.
So did you,
On that paragraph, it says any refusal.
I'm sorry, ma'am, I didn't understand.
Okay, I'm reading over it again, but it says, in that one paragraph, it says any refusal of municipality to defend.
this is the July contract.
Which one are you on, Mark? Are you on the one?
This is not the extension, but you still the same kind of wording.
This is the one that contains the wording also. And the wording is except or regardless, that changes the whole liability between responsibility. Going to accept any and all responsibility.
But it
So you're
seems,
saying the newer contract, the one that was meant to, the one that didn't get signed, that was meant to, go through the end of the year, change those words?
No, I can't remember which one was which on that other one. I think y'all were, before y'all voted to say send this one over again, as I was reading over it, I looked at that specific word, this one contains that word. Does that make
so
sense?
it's a problem still,
Yes, sir.
still a problem.
Before we sent this one over and our lawyer's ready to begin and send it back to them, we still don't want this word, I'm just trying to cut that one out.
That's what you're saying, so, Ross, if you will catch up with me, I'll mark that and then mention that to Jason when I talk to him that we're gonna.
Is that the only thing you see in there that you don't like?
Then something else agreed upon, and I don't pretend to know, I was talking about it, with anything, I know that was the problem with the old, or the,
But, I don't think it says that.
So that wasn't something that changed on our new version of it, it was just something
I can't
that
remember, and
your
it's
attorney
been
can approve
a
of.
couple of months since all this has been, there was difference in the wordings of 2 of the contracts, and I can't remember which one was first or last, but I know that was the issue with one of them.
Okay, since we're gonna change wording, why don't we get the city's attorney and our attorney and Lisa, the sheriff, and the police chief, let them sort it out and bring it back to us.
That sounds like the best idea.
In 2 weeks.
I would like that.
I'm
with y'all.
That's good.
So we're not the sheriffs and the chiefs.
I would like that.
But it's crazy, because
Okay.
Just make sure, Lisa, that you or Jason documents everything that either gets put in or taken out, so we don't have to sit here and go through this.
Yeah.
I know when you're ready.
Okay. Who we up to now, Brian?
Someone,
Might be against the ball peanuts.
Yeah. I always get in trouble like it, bull penis. Get hurt. All right, anything else you guys on the
Yes.
agenda?
Yes, I want to do, $1,500 out of my discretionary fund to the, Cleveland County High School baseball field.
Is that new business or what's that?
it's just discretionary money, they can all read it when it comes time, they want to. I say consent agenda.
He's probably, everybody's probably good with that being on consent, right?
And then on new business, I have a resolution for the animal shelters. Right there. I'm keeping a couple copies of it.
Yeah.
I can give everybody else one.
Trying to get a copy of it.
And be on new business. You got anything? Did you say something about that?
I do have something.
I have one more thing.
Okay.
One more thing is,
Now, this will go on new business.
right,
Okay.
one other thing is we've talked, I know I've talked to all the commissioners, I talked to Randy Price, I've talked to our new legislator, Chad Robertson, and to, the ACCA. I feel that, I know Ryan's retiring, or so supposedly, you still got time to change your mind.
I'm not.
Okay, but one of the things I've talked about in the past is either doing a rotating chair or a full-time chair. My reason behind a full-time chair is to have a commissioner that would facilitate this mountain center and to have a person, back in the day, the way it was set up originally, Ryan was at the courthouse and everybody here was at the courthouse, pretty much, other than 911. And so, but the day-to-day business, Lisa really doesn't have time to go down, meet with the mayors and go meet with everybody, but I would like to, for everybody to think about that, if the commission's involved with it, and maybe look at the cost involved with having a full-time chair. I just think it would be a good asset for the county. Then number two, if we wasn't interested in doing a full-time county-wide chair, then we would do a rotating chair. The only thing about the rotating chair, from my understanding, we'll have to get serious, find out serious about this, is we just got through doing the census, where we could either break the districts up into 5 districts, so we would have a tiebreaker, or I think there's a few counties, Ryan, that you might know, that don't have a tiebreaker. If a motion comes to the table, it's 2-2, it dies. Now, I don't know if you could do a rotating chair where you could ask the appropriate judge or the revenue commissioner or another elected official to be the tiebreaker. I don't know.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I don't know. But I would, that's what I've been thinking about.
Could you have a part-time chairman that would still be a 5th person that would be run countywide? Would you?
Yeah.
Could you make that happen?
Yeah, and well, that would really not address the situation of having somebody. I just think it's important. It was a lot better when the probate judge was in the same building and everybody met at the courthouse and we did our business at the courthouse. But I just feel like we need an elected official involved in this.
You want somebody here 40 hours a week, basically.
That's right, and then that way they can run county business as far as, you know, when we put something together like this, they can go spend all day at the attorney's office, or they can spend all day in Rambert, or they can spend all day down at Hollis Crossroads. We'd have somebody represent the county commission totally. I think for the bug and the way that the county commission we have now has orchestrated the mountain center, I think we have created the savings in the past to justify to do that. But Randy said that it would have to be unanimous amongst all 4 of us to do something like that. I believe, now it's not going to happen. It might not happen while we're here. It's going to take a couple of years down the road to make this happen. And you know, so I think it's something in the future. If Cleveland County would be an asset that we've got a problem at the road department, we got a problem with people calling and they really have somebody to contact with, like in other counties. I think there's only 10 left in the state that's either rotating or full-time chair. I talked to both sides. Dale County was the last time it went to a full-time chair. It was a little bit mixed, I think now. I think they're glad it's like that, because then you got somebody representing the face of the commission all the way through the county. Everybody in the county would be able to bring that problem. It would be more of a situation when we run into situations that he could, or she, or the person could handle the problem, and then the commission would still have to vote to, you know, and it would just be, he would have a tie, or the person would have a tie, whoever it might be. But I just think that it's, one way or the other, I just think at this time where we got somebody that's been in office as long as Ryan has, and it's changing, that it might be the time for us to make that change.
What is your salary for being a chairman?
I think it's $5,000. It's not hardly, I mean, you know, I just don't want y'all to change it before I leave office, because it would affect my retirement.
Come on, man.
It's not gonna happen that quick. It'd be you're going out in this next election, right?
Yeah, but
I
I wouldn't leave office till, I wouldn't want it changed immediately. What I'm saying, if it changed in November, that'd mess me up a month and a half before I end up my career, and it would mess my retirement up.
Well, it couldn't happen in this,
No, Randy talked it would, that they would need to get it moving, but it would be in the next, I think he was saying not after this election.
Okay, not this coming cycle.
I didn't think we could do it this cycle.
But he said, if we think about doing it, we need to.
We got, in Calhoun County, they rotate their chairs, they have 5. Then when they rotate and they take the chair, they get extra pay. They make.
Yeah, and that's the way it is on a part-time chair.
Mhm.
But I think all
On
the
each
people
chair, they get paid
in
extra.
Calhoun County are full-time commissioners.
I don't,
They're not part-time, are they?
yeah.
Okay.
But now when he, but they, I mean, they got a bigger county and they pay a lot more.
Yeah.
I think, I was talking to Lee Patterson the other day, and he said that when he gets to when he chairs for that period of time, his salary jumps to $90,000. So I think,
Don't get no ideas, because ours is not gonna jump.
I'm like, wow.
Y'all be holding them hands up anyway.
but that's Calhoun County, you know,
Yeah.
but
It's based off population. You can go in the book, it tells you what each county pays.
But that's what Lee was telling me at the meeting of the night, and then, but I think if you're regular commissioners, that, of course, their salaries about double what y'all's are.
Yeah. I think they get 60,000 a year.
Well, it would be an asset to have a chairman here, you know, every day. But I don't know if we'll let them get there.
Well, it's going to be affordability, I just don't know that
Yeah.
the county can afford it now. They might can if, I feel like the county is starting to boom, and I think more and more people are moving here, and they may can afford the future, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Personally, no.
Also, have we talked any more about the road department on the slots?
They ain't got too many.
Okay, well, I'm gonna stop at mine.
Okay.
But do I need to try to follow up on this, if we might bring something to the table after I get through public meeting?
Get all the information, what it's gonna cost the county, how long it takes to do it.
Okay, I'll bring that
It's
information.
a lot, you know, to gather.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm proposing a pay increase for 12 employees in the road department. We've danced around this ever since I've been in office, and we know they're underpaid. We can't get people to apply for jobs. And the list goes on and on. I propose a $2 an hour raise for 12 people.
Well, not for people, but for.
Well, for 12 positions.
Right.
Yeah, 'cause-
I don't have a position number, I've got the job title number, I don't have a position number.
So you would like to put that on the agenda?
Yes,
We're moving from 1194 to 1394 is would be the lowest paid. And then the highest paid would go from 16 to 18, almost 19, so.
I have a question about this. Okay. My issue is, are we doing this in a step situation or raising the whole bracket at that part? Because we need to still follow our pay study. So if we're doing it as moving them up steps on their pay grade, then we don't need to do exactly $2. We need to stay within those steps and get close to that. I'm not saying we should get close to it, maybe it's $1.84, maybe it's $1.86, I don't know what it is, but I'm saying,
If it's $1.96, that'd be fine.
but,
But,
or are we shifting all of them up, the low all the way up to the high, are we shifting on that? And we may need to get our HRO in here to address
Well, and
that as well.
I asked him to look at it like that as well, to see how you could play, because the problem you're gonna do is if you just do $2, then you're gonna start compressing jobs and all this kind of stuff. And we may end up in the long run causing ourselves more trouble. So if we look at it from our step, how it lays in there and move it like that, like I said, it may not be $2 for every employee, but it would be something close to that. But you would keep everything in line so that we haven't wasted the pay scale. Because if you do it just $2, it's gonna slam everything together.
I don't want one to get $1.10 an hour raise, and then the next one $1.95. I don't do it.
Then me and her, and hopefully this week, I get some of those numbers.
What if you can't get the step up high enough to go?
That's what we gotta look at. Hopefully this week we can sit down and get all that lined out, have that paper for you to look at, so that you can see it.
Most of those steps run somewhere in the 36-cent to 48-cent range. That's just kind of a range, and they're all a little bit, depending on how much the pay is, it's all different. But most of the steps run something like that. So I feel like, you're talking about maybe 4 or 5 steps up would get them in that ballpark. But it's gonna vary from each position.
And the other counties that I talked to that have done something similar, they all done it through a step process, not just
But you are good.
Well, it's like we bought all this equipment and we're looking at buying equipment, if we don't have nobody to set our own equipment.
It's not
To me,
good.
point.
I mean, you've got like 3 slots open.
y'all want to keep something on the agenda to vote on?
Yes.
So how do you want to say now, step? Your motion would be something for step?
You could say not to exceed $2 or no less than $2 an hour.
Close to $2. It's gonna be $1.86 or $1.87, something like that.
Plus
One
around
step, yeah.
10%.
Right.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I appreciate what y'all trying to do, because I've been talking about something like this for a year. But when you're talking about $2 for somebody making $10 an hour and $2 for somebody making $14 an hour, that's a way big different percentage. And I don't know that you might not be discriminating against the higher paid guy by giving him a lower percentage raise.
But his position is gonna be different. I mean, I can see, trying to get somebody to come to work for the county, even with a $2 raise, still, but
You don't get a whole bunch.
$14 an hour.
Most of the construction guys around here don't do nothing but hold a shovel and look at another person run a piece of equipment, make $16 to $18 an hour.
Emily has got a step raise already worked up, because she and I have been talking about this for a year, but it's around 35 cents is what it is.
Yeah, I need to
But you
mention
could-
that.
You could probably take that same deal and tweak the number. But it's not gonna, everybody's not gonna get $2, because, just because of the percentage deal.
Well, can you get with Emily and provide something for each one of us, for us then to look at and approve?
That's what I was gonna say, really, that's what we're working on. So I would say you were probably better off to let us get that information together so that you got it all in front of you, and you can see exactly how much, where everybody would fall, what step, that type of stuff. And then once you have all that information in front of you, then you got the full piece to look at to make a decision.
Because you got four open slots. But what amazes me is that, we've got 5 slots open. And only one of them is a low pay, the rest of them is like within the second and third pay.
Because once you get up to there, we're just asking for class A CDLs and know how to run a motor grader and anything else, I tell you, jump off it.
That's why they need more money.
Yeah.
That's one of the hotspots
So,
is because those guys can go anywhere you want to and make $400.
So what, let me be clear here. So we're looking at operator ones, RV tech ones, and RV tech twos, is that the 3 jobs?
That's correct.
there's only the ones,
I don't see how you hire anybody.
Really, they don't.
Yes, sir.
They want to do harder.
$12,071.27 that Emmett and I owed. I would like to ask everybody just to move that over into our discretionary fund. If everybody will agree with that, move it over to our discretionary, like, just like what Emmett asked us to spend a while ago, when that $1,000 for the ball field.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, would that be an issue?
But I thought that money was Sparkle, I thought that money was sort of.
No, she said we couldn't do it with ARPA money, that's what she said last month.
No, but I thought part of it was from the COVID money, that 12,000.
The 87,000 that you come back in the morning, it came up 24,000 and whatever dollars short, and Emmett and I said we'd split it. And now, after, you said we couldn't do that for ARPA money, we had to do it with general fund money. That's what you said last month.
Okay.
Or during the budget deal.
Like, just a second, I'm really make sure I understand this, okay? The original shortage, the $24,000 shortage, was out of the ARPA fund that we had put aside $300,000 for. We spent $324,000 for those kind of kicked out projects that we had earmarked for that money. And it cost us $24,000 more. Okay, we had thought that what we would do is when, we got down to the division of the rest of that money into all 4 of you, which was the big chunk that you got, like $452,000. Well, Terry had said that he would take $12,000 of his money, and what was it, Emmett was gonna take $12,000 of his and pay back, and leave that, not spend that money, basically, it would cover that $300,000 that had the shortage on it, that when we spent $324,000. Okay, so then we got LATCF money, so let's just take it out of LATCF money. We can't use LATCF money to pay off the ARPA. You see what I'm saying? If we overspent on ARPA, we just overspent on ARPA. So,
So what was the other fund
what
money
the
we just
suggestion
got?
was from Clint Gilligan was that we move it either from reserve or if it come from somewhere else. Okay, so if you don't spend your ARPA money, if you don't spend $12,000 of your ARPA money that you got allocated out of the $452,000, yes, I would say that taking it, putting it in your discretionary is fine.
What can I move that 12,000 over to the 452,000? I thought you said we couldn't do that.
You can spend the,
Let me back up, what's the simplest way to do it? Simplest way to do it, pull it out of general fund or try to go through all this and do it on that? Because I've already spent that, everybody's already spent all of $452,000.
I understand, all right, I understand. I would say the simplest way is to just not spend $24,000 of your LATCF money and just earmark some money out of your general fund or something to make up for the difference. Or the reserve, either way. You see what I'm saying? If you know that you want to spend your 80-something or 60-something thousand that came out, that was the remainder of the LATCF money that's not spoken for, if you wanted to spend more than that, then actually take it out of general fund or out of reserve and make up the difference.
Well, that's what he
Because
said.
They're going to be short on that ARPA money.
That's what he said, start with, take 12,000, put it as general fund money, put 12,000 in mind, and then,
Right. It's
It
just a
would be
different way
hard.
of thinking about it.
and then the
We look at it.
ATCF money is gonna be split 4 ways.
And that we just gotta keep that LATCF money and that ARPA money specifically earmarked the way it is.
Separate.
And if we spent more ARPA money than we actually had, then we do need to put it out of the general fund into the ARPA fund or out of the reserve and put it into the ARPA fund. And it is two separate funds. LATCF money is in one fund and the ARPA money is in another fund.
Okay.
And it's ARPA that we're short. It's ARPA that we're 24,000 short.
But we're not short now because we took it out of our part.
That was on the first 300,000 we
Right.
set aside, that, the 1.8 million that we divided up, less than 300,000, it's all the same money.
It is all the same, it's
But-
all in the same bank account, but right now, we have used basically some of the LATCF money to cover for the ARPA money that was, we've actually overspent on ARPA. So.
Well,
we need to-
24,000.
By 24,000.
24,142.
We need to do one of two things, we either need to move $24,000 from general fund or 24,000 from reserve. That's my recommendation, is that we move one of those amounts from one of those two
Move
places.
it to work.
Yes,
Move it to work.
to the ARPA.
They're not gonna like what I'm gonna say.
ARPA
But
fund.
actually, y'all should just give me that since y'all didn't give me anything 2 years ago, absolutely nothing.
That's
Like,
what I
it's not
said.
gonna get the ARPA money refunded though.
You know,
That is through the paperwork even though it works.
I mean, you know.
Okay, tell me how I'm gonna get my $12,000, that's all.
You're still getting your 12,000 because you got to spend your whole 452, right?
Okay, so you're gonna add the 12,000 to the 452.
It's gonna go back into the ARPA fund. That money all came from the same spot, it all came from the same fund.
So I get
If you spend your whole
12,000.
452, that 24,000 twice, is gonna come back in from the general fund or reserve. That's my recommendation, to put it back in, and that way your 2 areas, that's your ARPA
Why
fund.
can't you just take it out of general fund and put it?
I can.
And,
General fund or reserve, either one,
That's what
Same
they
thing.
say.
either one.
No, she said put it back in the ARPA fund, we don't want to put it back in ARPA
Meanwhile,
fund.
these kids gonna be sucking on the
Has
guys,
to
so
go back.
crackers.
Okay,
Because ARPA fund
so
is
give me,
Negative.
get me a new on these sheets.
I will.
Put my $12,071.27 in with that, and I'll renegotiate with him.
Isn't it in your 452? Is it your 12,000 in with that 452? Is that one not showing the four? Okay, it's showing the four, it's showing less than
Yes.
12,000 south, which version you're looking at of it.
Anyway,
That was the last one I got.
We got talk, we need
Yeah, we just
to,
broke that 12 more thousand in there.
No, I only got 452, that's with the 12,000 in there. It's in there.
Look, when you move back up here and we split up the 300,000, where am I gonna get my 12,000? That's all I wanna know.
Your 12,000 didn't move away from you, it never did. You all got divided up the same amount, you all got
Well, I
452.
understand that,
And
but
then you all got.
I'm owed 12,000 and Emmett's owed 12,000, how we gonna get it?
We never did pay it. You never did pay it out, you never were shorted it. Everybody got the same amount that was left over when it was divided up, everybody got 452. So you never got shorted the 12,000.
Well, then these two got an additional 12,000 that I didn't get.
That fund is actually short, it's 24,000 short, right now, it's short.
You never paid it in, she's got a negative balance. Is what
And
she's
negative
got.
24,000.
You have not paid it, Emmett has not paid it, it's a negative balance.
And that would be a problem if the LATCF money had been going to that same bank account, we would actually be overdrawn by 24,000.
So you neither one of you ever
You
paid
never
it,
got,
that's
you
what
never
she
paid
said.
it,
I
right?
can think that we did.
Because
Okay, let's move on.
Because we're gonna
coming back to
do
Go
him,
back to plans on paper.
right, do you want this on the agenda, you want a place for this on the agenda, on new business?
I wanna do whatever it takes to get these folks the money that they deserve.
Okay.
Whatever it takes. Now, these guys are smarter than me because they've been here longer. Whatever is the quickest way to get the money to the employee.
What do you
That's
want?
we want.
I think y'all were talking about that you needed some time.
So if you put something on it right now, it'll give you 2 weeks. I guess worst case scenario is if I ain't got what I need in 2 weeks, then
We
we'll
carry it
have
over.
to carry it.
Okay. So new business,
Yeah, that's going to be good.
new business, and we're talking about a step plan, right? The challenge for you is to help, is to write that resolution, and y'all work on that.
And I'll get it.
Then shoot us all a copy.
Okay. All right, we head in that direction. Anything else? Ms. Cobb, you got something?
I've got you taken care of.
Terry?
Do you know if HR come up with anything on the legal pot deal and the pot cards and the changing our handbook?
I know that she, has kind of reached out to some folks, but I do know that she was saying that she has already heard some about this, and that it's, you know, even if they have that, they can't do that if they're operating equipment, they can't. Even if they are they have medical use, even if they have that, they cannot.
But she also said we needed something on our.
In our policy, and I don't know, I would hate to speak for her, I don't know if she has already gotten something or not. I've not heard anything else about it.
If you go to court, they've been arguing, okay, I got a prescription to take an antibiotic.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a prescription for pot. So, I just assume not settle it in court, I just assume they settle it on our policy.
I'll follow up with her to say, I just would hate to speak for her, I don't know who all she's spoken to about it and what needs to be changed.
Needs to reach out to the ACCA or have something.
Lisa, was that $1,500 in your budget for to have that roof, that car painted and that hood on the Black Explorer?
It's not in there.
Okay, well, you know, Ricky's gonna get it and paint the roof, or whatever we got.
It was passed by a resolution, I think.
I
I
think
think it's
that'll
passed
have
by
to be
resolution.
I think that's on this one.
A lot of questions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What about our ordinance?
I'm pretty
You
good.
got anything about it?
Not yet, I gave my copy to the one,
We need to get that going.
yeah, I'll be back.
I want to
She and I
start on
talked.
another one.
Talk today, because we had some more issues.
On the top of the top, man, Roger talked to them today, they're gonna come up, there is, what is it called, the name of this line that's right out here on
I
78?
forgot what he called
But
it.
he can do a dark line into the mountain center, but, because they're trying to get the sidewalk, and, which would save us a tremendous amount of money monthly if this could happen, so. He's supposed to let us know next week, and, we're gonna try to bring it, he calls it a dark line, is that what it is? You know, Lynn? A dark line, fiber line in, that they get from,
We also need to get one to the jail. He's paying a terrible price for his.
okay. But anyway, CJ is getting with, the other guy, so we'll meet next week to follow up on that. That's on- Yeah, off the line,
Corvettes.
they're lined up, right. So we just have to get a,
It's the one that runs to the school.
yeah, so.
Yeah, there's 5 right here.
Is there anything?
Huh?
There's 5 right here next.
Yeah. It comes from the, I think, don't that fiber come from over at the old building on, you know, because they paid for the cable to come from the tower over here, from the other 911 building. Back in 2000.
You know, sit down right here, my man don't come up here.
Okay, all right. Just sit on it and work on it.
Well, the checks are signed, everybody's money clear in, right?
I hope so. Everybody, anything else?
The sheriff and,
Y'all good?
and all them's gonna figure that out.
Yes, sir, I'm good. Ms. Lisa said she would be able to facilitate that,
Yeah,
hopefully within the next 2 weeks.
okay.
I mean, I'm asking when I say that.
Lisa,
I messed up.
say it again,
It's
Ross.
like,
I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. You said you would try to facilitate that sometime in the next 2 weeks with lawyers and all the powers to be as well.
I'll try.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at when I can get my inmates.
I understand, and, you know, like, we're all gonna sit down and talk about it, get it all together, it's gonna be, I just venture to guess that it's gonna be hard to get the two attorneys together at a time when they both have a block in their schedule. The rest of us could probably work ours around a
I'm
little
pretty
bit better,
flexible.
they can.
Did you, when I say this, you need me to reach out to them, or you gonna reach out to them?
I'll reach out to Jason
Perfect.
as soon as I
Perfect, okay.
get an opportunity.
Thank you very much. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Ross. All right, we're set to meet on, what is it, the 16th, is that right?
4:30?
4:30. We're all, I guess, adjourned, ready to go.